Before we get started, let's talk about some types of lines, because this will help you create your 10-box project. Okay, first off is the horizon line. That's a line that's horizontal or flat, and it goes from one side of your page to the other. It'll kind of look like that on your page. It should be towards the middle of the page. These next lines are called parallel lines. Parallel lines are always the same distance apart from each other, from where they start to where they stop. So they will never, if they keep going forever, they will never meet or cross. Okay, that line that goes up and down is a vertical line. And then a flat line is a horizontal line. So the horizon line is a horizontal line. That line that starts low and goes higher is diagonal. It can also go the other way. This grouping of lines are converging lines, so they meet. Converging lines can never be parallel lines. So here's the 10-box project. You'll be drawing 10 boxes that will all kind of converge towards the vanishing point. So it looks like they're going back in space, or it looks like you're looking at them from above. To start, you'll want to draw your horizon line first. Draw that in the center of your paper, and make sure it's not vertical. Make sure that it is horizontal. Next, you'll add a vanishing point. This also needs to be in the center of your paper, and it needs to be directly located on the horizon line. This is the type of setup for any kind of perspective drawing. You'll need a horizon line that's horizontal, and then you'll need a vanishing point that will be located on the horizon line. So now we can move on to drawing our 10 boxes. We'll start with drawing a simple rectangle. You want the lines to be as parallel as possible on opposite sides. So those two lines should be parallel. The bottom two lines should be parallel as well to each other. You can use your ruler to get a nice box. At this point, you're going to want to make converging lines that go from the corners of the box to the vanishing point. Everything's going to converge towards that point. So in reality, each corner, if that rectangle extends towards the vanishing point, each corner will have kind of like a line that connects to it. So you'll connect that corner with the vanishing point. You'll connect that bottom left corner, the top right corner as well. However, you won't have to connect this last one because that will be behind the box and the viewer won't see it, so you don't need to draw it. Okay, then you'll make another box. Remember to try and use parallel lines. You can make squares or rectangles. Now mine's a little crooked, so you're going to want to try to line up your ruler a little bit better so it's not as crooked as mine. And I'm also using pen. You'll find that it's a lot easier to use pencil, especially if you draw lightly, because that way you can erase it. So once again, you'll connect those three corners with the vanishing point. Now this bottom corner, it could go through that box. So since it's kind of going behind that first box, I'm not drawing it all the way to the vanishing point. So you're going to kind of draw layers of boxes with converging lines that all end up towards the vanishing point. Now if you draw above the vanishing point, it's going to kind of turn out the same way, except those converging lines are going to be drawn downwards towards the vanishing point. And sometimes you may run into an instance where you only need to connect two corners instead of three. If you're ever confused about this, line up your ruler with all of the corners And if you find that one of the corners goes behind the box or goes through it, then you don't need to connect that corner with the vanishing point. So this one only has 2 connections. Same thing will happen if you draw a box that's on the horizon line. Okay, you'll want to space them out so you can fit 10. I'm drawing kind of a larger box. So if I lined up my ruler with the top left corner and line that up to the vanishing point, the line would go through the box. Same with the bottom left. So we don't need to draw those lines. All we need to draw are the lines that will connect the corner of the box to the vanishing point without going through anything. So this assignment's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. It's definitely a good introduction to drawing in perspective. Now if you color it, this is kind of what it will look like. It definitely looks a little bit more interesting. So go ahead, grab your paper, grab your ruler, grab a pencil, and try out 1-point perspective.